Hello everyone, blessed be and namaste. My name is Loki and today we're going to be touching on and talking about the topic of shadow people, shadow entity, and lower vibrational spiritual beings. It's a huge spiritual attraction. It's very highlighted when it comes to the mainstream and everyone's talking about them, but I feel like there isn't a large understanding of where they came from, how they've manifested, the way that we're able to communicate and deal with their activity and their influences. So I'm going to go ahead and discuss a little bit about where they're coming from. So first of all, what is a shadow person or a shadow entity? This is a lower vibrational manifestation that is created from an environmental factor. Sometimes this can be a deceased or spiritual blockage from a spiritual being, and this could be this blockage just manifesting in the stagnant environmental energy. There's no flow, so that blockage can't be processed and worked through, so that vibrational manifestation is going to stay there. That's what that shadow person is doing, is they are soaking and they are leeching onto that manifestation or that vibrational environmental factor, because that is what it is thriving on. It's what makes it grow. What the shadow people do is they are going to cause a lot of delusion. They're going to cause a lot of paranoia. They give you a lot of anxiety. They show up to manifest negativity onto your life. They're here to project the negativity that's already around you onto your life, to basically make it exceed, times 10 where you are when it comes to terms of grounding, protection, confidence, self-esteem. A lower mental health will make it, a lot more easy for these people to get a hold of you, a lot easier for them to influence. Shadow people are essentially generated from the environmental factors. To summarize all of that, when it comes to getting rid of shadow people, it's about balancing and reattuning the environmental energy, because they are just an environmental manifestation. They are something that you can easily get rid of, but sometimes it is very hard to keep them gone, and that can be due to the energy that you are generating and projecting. We can create shadow people ourselves by attuning our environmental energy into any kind of negative or stagnant vibrational dynamics. The best way that you're going to be able to consistently have these shadow people dealt with, have these shadow people banished, you are going to want to focus on reattuning your environmental energy at a consistent rate, or keep it attuned to a consistent rate to avoid it hitting those lower vibrational spectrums. These are going to be things like energetically cleansing, keeping your room or your space actually clean. This is going to be positive mindsets, making sure that the energy that you're producing is more positive than negative. It's okay to have these negative experiences. It's okay to produce negative energy, but as long as you are outweighing it with positivity, it's going to have a better definition of environmental balance, and it's going to produce more positive than negative results, which will be able to outweigh that negative dynamic, and it will all fall into place nicely. You just have to make sure that you're really focusing and very aware of the energy that you're putting out and the energy that you're sitting in, and that's definitely going to be able to keep away the manifestations of these. Sometimes in certain cases, like a spiritual traumatic blockage from a deceased being, that created that stagnation in the environmental factor, that is going to be a little bit more difficult to get rid of. Sometimes you have to do more work. You have to do cord cuttings, you have to do blessings, you have to do banishings. But that is going to be more working with the specific being, and there are different ways to address them, and you'll have to basically address them according to their specific energetical vibrational frequency. But that is definitely another topic for another video on how to address specific entities and beings. This is more about shadow people in general. Then of course there's the manifestation of shadow entities through substance abuse, and that is just because you are opening yourself. When you are using substances and abusing substances, you are going to be opening yourself to every spiritual dynamic, every spiritual frequency, and that's going to cause you to induce and download a lot of negative qualities, a lot of negative vibrations, and it's going to make it very, very easily for any kind of negativity to leech onto you and then thrive off of any kind of negativity that you're producing because of their negative influence. It's a very toxic cycle, and it's very luring and very trapping. That's also why you want to do a lot of consistent cleanses and make sure that you're working on yourself. But like I said, this doesn't have to be a very hard thing to do. It doesn't have to be very ritualistic. This can be as simple as focusing on having a more positive mindset and healthier lifestyle. You don't have to do more of the energetical work, because the lifestyle that you are manifesting will attune you to that frequency. But of course, those things are a special bonus, and they really do help. And the final thing I would like to discuss on the topic of shadow people is the misconception that you can work with them, that it is something that you can necessarily tap into and or channel. So yes, of course you can channel their negative energy, but first of all, that is not smart nor safe. That is just a completely negative outlet, nothing but darkness, nothing but resentment, fear, and anger-based blockages, and that is going to produce absolutely nothing for you. Even if you are considering baneful spell work, if you're considering baneful intention or anything like that, you want to consider tapping into specific angry spirits or specific darker spirits, but not necessarily shadow people, because shadow people don't have any kind of foundation. They're more of a collective foundation based off of everything around you, so it's more of they're everywhere at once, if that makes any kind of sense. But they are not something that you can necessarily work with, because they are not a whole entity. They are not a complete entity. They are not something that you can align to at a attuned rate. You're not going to be able to attune to their energy, because it's never at a solid frequency. It's always at a changing at a consistent rate. It is a very negative and low vibrational rate, but it's always changing. So the only thing that you can do when it comes to shadow people is working on providing a more attuned environment to be able to get rid of them, because they are not going to help you in any way. They're not going to be useful in any spell work. So they're not necessarily anything that you want to keep around. All right, everyone, so thank you all so much for joining today's discussion. If you have any thoughts or opinions on shadow people, on anything that I had to say, please leave a comment below, and I will see you guys in the next discussion. Bye, guys.